Hello friends. It's me with another edition of Unscripted America. News, headlines and perspectives of what's happening in US. Unscripted America brings you what's trending in America and how it affects millions of homes and families by the new regime under Donald Trump. Friends, if you like my channel, please feel free to subscribe and support me. Your one support will motivate me to do better and bring new contents very often. Remember friends, your support will mean a great deal to me. So let's dive into what is happening in U.S. Ology at the University of Pittsburgh. According to the Loudoun County, Virginia, Sheriff's Office, she is an Indian citizen and permanent U.S. resident who lives with her family in Chantilly, Virginia, which is in Loudoun County. She traveled to Punta Cana from Pitt on March 3 with 5 other female friends for their spring break trip. Konanki is also in the South Asian fusion a cappella group of Oz at college. Sadiksha Konanki was last seen in the early morning hours of March 6, heading to a beach close to the Rio Republica Hotel in Punta Cana with a group of friends. Police say Konanki allegedly stayed behind with a man named Joshua Reeb who she met on the island. Surveillance video shows Reeb, a person of interest in the case, leaving the beach area hours later with Konanki. Reeb is not considered a suspect. Konanki was also captured on surveillance video walking on the very same beach with 24-year-old Street Cloud State senior Joshua Reeb. Reeb, who was previously questioned by police and hails from Iowa, says the pair waded into the water together and claims he trudged back to the shore alone, threw up and fell asleep on a lounge chair. Authorities in Konanki's home area of Loudoun County, Virginia, also cautioned that Reeb is not a suspect. A new surveillance camera shot showed missing University of Pittsburgh student Sadiksha Konanki cuddling up to a man before she disappeared. According to Noticias Sin, the image is the last known photo of Konanki. The picture shows her walking down a path at the Rio Republic Resort with friends. The photo emerged after local authorities announced that the FBI was joining the search for the missing student. Konanki and the unidentified man had their arms around each other's backs as they walked down the road with a group of friends. It is unclear what time the photo was captured. However, according to authorities, the group was partying at a disco around 3 a.m. before later heading to the beach. Konanki was seen swimming with a young man before she disappeared. A 24-year-old tourist from Iowa was the last person to see Konanki alive. Joshua Stephen Reeb, a fellow guest at the Caribbean resort from Tiny Rock Rapids, suggested that he passed out drunk on the beach, and when he woke up, Konanki was missing. Reeb gave 3 versions to cops of the incidents leading up to Konanki's disappearance. He is now cooperating with authorities, who have not said if they suspect foul play. Wish they find her soon and it will bring great relief to all her friends and family. I will keep you updated on this news. Why is Donald Trump so obsessed on Canada? For some reasons Mexico is out of the radar of Trump right now. Maybe Mexico doesn't have much natural resources like Canada. Mexico does have cheap manpower though, and a large immigrated Mexican population in US. Greenland is another favorite topic for Trump. Trump's rhetoric on Greenland make Russia invasion of Ukraine legal and possible. With superpower countries do not respect and work with the United Nations needs to review its working capabilities and authority. Otherwise we are coming to the state of chaos and free-for-all type of political uncertainty and turmoil. Today we will leave aside those topics for other days and come back to the current political noise in US. So today a statement came from the US President regarding Canada. Let's dive into it. Tariffs and threats to annex Canada fall into Donald Trump's wider vision for US dominance in the world, experts say. Canadians have watched with a mixture of shock, confusion and anger as US President Donald Trump repeatedly took aim at their country, both as part of his global trade policies and his expansionist ambitions. Trump has imposed steep tariffs on Canadian goods and threatened more. He regularly calls for the annexation of Canada. And he has made unfounded and disparaging claims about outgoing Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and the Canadian electoral system. U.S. stocks slid and the S&P 500 closed down more than 10% from its record high in February. as Trump threatened new tariffs on the EU. In Washington, D.C., Canadian officials said they would meet again with their U.S. counterparts to discuss the trade war and other issues. Another absurd policy changes too. Donald Trump says, won't bend at all, on tariffs with Canada. Be our state, keep national anthem. Donald Trump doubling down on his tariff war with Canada. Despite the agreed pause on tariffs for the time being and said he won't bend at all. Canada only works as a state and the US does not need anything they have. Trump said, repeating his demand that Canada should become the 51st state. As a concession, he announced on Thursday that he would allow Canada to keep their national anthem as a US state. Quote, on February 1st, Trump had signed executive orders imposing 25% tariffs on all Canadian goods entering the US. Except for energy exports, taxed at 10%, effective March 4, 2025. This move was justified by Trump as a response to illegal immigration and fentanyl flows originating from Canada. Canada swiftly countered on March 4 with 25% tariffs on $30 billion of U.S. goods, including orange juice, peanut butter, and motorcycles, with plans to expand to $155 billion within weeks. The trade war intensified on March 11 when the U.S. doubled the steel and aluminum tariffs, retaliating Ontario's 25% surcharge on electricity exports to U.S. states like Michigan, Minnesota, and New York, which rely on Canadian power for millions of homes. Both sides then de-escalated, agreeing to talks and a temporary pause on some measures. Another great news for the federal workers was that a judge has ruled in separate cases. Judges ruled against mass firings and TRICARE bills couple over $100,000. The headlines read, thousands of probationary federal workers who were fired in the Trump administration's recent mass layoffs must be temporarily reinstated. Two judges ruled in separate cases. Dozens of agencies, departments, and leaderships across the federal government that had terminated workers as part of their reduction in workforce efforts must temporarily reinstate those workers, a judge ruled yesterday. District Judge James Bradar in Maryland wrote in his ruling, affecting thousands for former employees, that the government gave no advance notice when it conducted mass layoffs, which Bradar said is required. There were no individualized assessments of employees. They were all just fired. Collectively, Bradar wrote. The order applies to 12 departments and 6 agencies. They were given a deadline of before March 17 at 1 p.m. to reinstate the affected employees. The ruling in Maryland came hours after another federal judge in California directed 6 federal departments to offer reinstatement to the thousands of probationary employees the Trump administration terminated on or about February 13. The district judge William Alsop said the Office of Personnel Management's directive to fire all probationary employees, in a written memo and in a February phone call, was not legal. The Justice Department filed a notice of appeal in the case. Hopefully the foundation or the pillar of democracy, which is the Supreme Court, wakes up and see that justice systems work properly. Thanks for watching, friends. Until next time, enjoy your freedom and make United States of America great once again.